Would your message survive the telephone game? Maybe you've called it the post office game. I'm Carrie Price, brand messaging coach, helping established women business owners who are struggling to stand out in their market find and own the words to stand out, be heard, and make your message roar. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, we played this game called the telephone game, or maybe you called it the post office game. And I've heard it's called different things around the world. But tell me if you remember doing this. You sit in a circle with a group of people, right? And one person thinks of a message in their head, a sentence or two. And they turn to the person next to them and they whisper it in their ear. And that person then turns to the person next to them and whispers it in their ear, and so on until it gets all the way back around the circle. And then that last person says it out loud. If you've ever played this game, you know that very rarely, if ever, is it the same message when it's made its way around the circle. Now, why is that? It's because when people hear a message, they're processing that in their mind, right? Maybe they only heard few of the words because you're not allowed to repeat it in the game. So they take the words that they did remember, and sometimes without even knowing it, they change the words around. Their brain is processing that message to what they think they heard, and that's what they share, right? And that happens every time it goes round and round. Now, how do you know if your message would survive this game? By the way, you play this game every single day in your business. Have you heard the concept of the fact that you're separated by every person on the planet by 6 degrees of separation? You can get to any person through 6 people. You might not know who those 6 people are, but here's how that works. So everybody you know is your first degree of separation, right? You're separated them just by the one person. Everybody that they know, referrals, that's your second degree. Everybody that they know is now your third degree, and that goes out. So you might not know how to get to each person on the planet by 6 people, but there is a path. So when you put your message out in the world, you're sharing that message to your first degree contacts, the people you're directly connected to. Every time they talk about you, share about you, whether that's a referral or they're a client, like, hey, I've worked with this person, here's what they did for me, your message is getting communicated. It's getting processed in their mind, and they're then communicating what they think they know about you. So you're playing this game every day in your business. The best way for your message to survive this game, to make sure that by the time it gets around to that 6th person, or however many that is, that you have a solid, consistent, unique, one-of-a-kind message that's sticking in their head. So that if nothing else, that's the piece that gets communicated, right? So when I introduce myself, I share a few things. You might not have remembered everything I said about you or about me, but the more that you hear from me, there's likely going to be a phrase that sticks in your mind. And that's that I help you make your message roar. So as I talk about what I do, as I share information about brand messaging, you might not remember all the details, but over time, chances are that's going to stick for you. And if that's all that makes it out the 6 degrees of separation, at least people can trace that back to me, not to anybody else, right? So you want to make sure that you have a solid foundation in your messaging. And to do that, you want a message that roars. R-O-A-R. So what that means is that you have a message that is relatable. It's one of a kind, it's actionable and reliable. And when you can do that, your message can survive the telephone game. If you have any questions about that, let me know down in the comments and I'd be happy to answer them for you. Have a great day.